go backwards until it won't. So I don't know what that's about. Good morning, guys. Sam with Scrappy Industries here. We're on our way to go check out a Dresser TD25G. Found out about this machine from a viewer, and the story is the transmission's messed up. It sounds like it has a bad reverse and potentially a bad forward gear. Not real sure yet. Anyway, we're gonna go check it out, see what we got. Big John's gonna ride down with me. My thought is, if we can get this machine for a decent price and get it home and check it out, I'm thinking that the reverse gear wouldn't be all that hard to fix, and we can potentially flip this tractor. May have gone a little bit bigger this time. So I may or may not own this at this point in time. We don't know. I put an offer in last week and 2 people said yes, and the guy we need to approve everything didn't reply. So maybe it's ours. But it's a late 80s Dresser TD25G. It appears to have a KT Cummins in it. That's the part I'm most excited about. 3-speed forward and reverse as opposed to the older ones. Look really nice about it. Doesn't have a ton of grouser height, but the undercarriage itself looks pretty good. A little bit of wear on the bushings. Haven't been turned yet. A little bit of wear in there on the trunnions. Our tilt cylinder appears to need rebuilt. But we've got a lot of cutting edge life left. All the pins and everything look pretty tight. Main lift cylinders are in good shape. Well, that's not covered. I thought that was something over the top. Oh well. This wasn't a building over there near their plant, and then they ran it outside. I'm not sure how long it's been outside. Kind of will. Let's try that. Nope. I don't know, Big John. Kind of surprised they would take it out. Kind of want to see what old HD31 here looks like. It has a C hair try. We need the jump pack collection. If these two could start a K series, I'm impressed. If I open that door, do you think you could reach in that side and hold the seat up? Well, that was uneventful. The jump packs did it after all.
Buddy, she sounds good. See if she'll move? We got lift. We got reverse. The ripper goes up. She's smoky. She does indeed not have reverse. It's weird, when I put it in reverse, like the clutch pressure was like up in the green and then it would drop, but then it would come up, but it was being weird and forward too. All three reverse gears doing the same thing. I wonder how much oil is in the transmission. Because we're definitely low on hydraulic. That's all the good out of it. I'm still amazed that his jump pack started it. I'm proud of them. On the road to the TD25. Left about an hour ago. It's 4:30 in the morning now.
Gino's behind me with the low boy. I got the pickup and the gooseneck for the blade. We got to get the blade knocked off, get the machine loaded. I guess we have help with the loader supposedly. Hope it all goes well. They have us a whole plethora of stuff to get to play with here. If we need it, we got a 3,000 pound torque tool. Now it's tightening. No, oh wait, we fixed it. Nope, see. It went back, it went forward one time. Did you see that? It went forward after I let off of it.
Yeah. Oh well.
So this is our demo Torqup 3,000 foot-pound torque tool, or untorqued tool in this case. The Milwaukee did the other side without too much struggle, and the 1-inch gun, if you guys watch the Torque Test channel, I think it'll make like 1,300 foot-pounds in real life, something like that. Or this thing is making a true 3,000 foot-pounds. Very slowly. It's just basically a drill motor with 10,000 to 1 reduction. I don't know how much reduction, but a lot of it. So I guess, which way does it have to react on itself? This way.
Yeah.
It's going to try to screw that way. It does not mind it.
No.
It'd be cool if it told you how much torque that was.
Still, it did it pretty effortlessly.
Yeah, it did. Well, I'm thinking like you're not just hammering on, you're not wasting all that effort on.
Yeah.
I don't know if
It's quick too. Like trying to use a manual torque multiplier is
right.
awkward, and it's like a 2-person job to do that.
Yeah. It does not mind.
I like it.
Well, that is sweet.
I like it.
Oh, I do like that a lot. They said they go, this is 3,000 foot-pound, but they go up to 6,000 foot-pound on a 1-inch drive. I think on a 1-inch drive. And I'm like, how is that possible?
Yeah, I'm surprised it's not in.
Good job by that thing. Thanks, Jeff. They charge the batteries for us.
Hello. What? Why? No. not there, so you're gonna have to deal with it.
We'll find something to go in that hole.
D8.
Did you ever see that CNC equipment? They got a wrecking ball they bring in on the forklift for this kind of shit. Yeah. Dang it! Well, I guess I'll hold it and you can swing.
How
Little shrapnel protection.
Yeah. Sun is like right in my eye. I can't see what I'm hitting.
Oh wow.
Oh.
That's about bouncer out there. Oh man, we didn't film any of that. Blade is off. The push arm on the other side seems to be stuck. We're gonna smash and bang on that with the loader. I guess this side really didn't fall out either.
Well, I think the crib block.
It is very precariously balanced and wedged in there.
Precision.
Don't have small children play on it.
She doesn't want to steer very well, so let's see how this goes. Out of reverse. We're giving it one more pull back. I can only use the 2-speed steering going forward. And then I think we'll have her. Hopefully, as long as it crawls up on there. Whew, we're on.
What's that? I said, you must be feeling too bad. That was pretty good back up there. Oh. Hey, I guess that's not bad for my first day.
He said he had a couple filters for us and he wasn't lying. And a whole book. Awesome.
That'll tell you how to fix it.
That's true. They already had the answer they needed right here.
It's too lazy to get it.
It's all downhill from here.
What do you think, Gino? You made it.
We made it.
customer. Well, what's the K-Dodge assessment?
I don't know. First time I came near it. How'd you bend the roof already?
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
I like it.
You of all people.
Oh man, the Cummins seat came off. I didn't see it had one.
Like your way you welded that bolt on the plug. Yeesh. What kind of butcher are you?
I think we found, I don't know if you got to loosen that bolt to check the oil. Yeah, it's like behind that plate then? That's convenient. You need a wrench to check the transmission oil.
That is a heck of a ripper shank. I don't think I've ever seen a cushion set up like that.
Yeah, the cushion's not feeling so well.
Yeah, it's a little past its prime, I think.
But you can steer though.
Oh, it doesn't?
Look at the grease fitting. Look at the grease fitting rack over here. I think you could set this up as a 3 shank. And then like each one must have 3 hoses running to it for grease.
That's interesting. So you blow an internal hose and can't get to it ever.
It looks like somebody has greased them all before because there's grease just hanging out in that bore, yeah. I mean, we're not gonna wear it out in this operation. It was weird like how offset the cab is. Like when you're behind it on the road and the cab is just like way over to that side.
I didn't notice it until you sent me pictures of it on the trailer.
Yeah, like it, you don't notice it until you're just like looking at it like that.
Who hauled it?
Gino.
Jeez, he must have graduated.
And then that switch on the dash that's like not labeled at all, that's your on off. Nope, nope, to the right. Yep, that one. And then the top button is your starter button.
Yeah.
Oh, it was, I thought it was gonna go. Nope. They must have just charged her up for us yesterday. How about those batteries we just unloaded?
We just unloaded.
Here. According to the book, we're going to start there on why does it not have reverse. I can't believe this cover is still there at that rate.
This thing could use a good sandblast.
Yeah.
Or not sandblast, pressure wash.
That thing.
There's water.
Oh, that's not good. A little watery, but it's full. I think this is the final drive based on what one of the filters was called.
The manual where I have it marked tells you what those top ones are. There's something to do with the transmissions.
Oh, really?
And I don't know.
Let's find that manual.
Yeah, let's look at that manual.
Oh, look, there's all the test ports right there, too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Convenient.
Is this little tabby what we had marked here, Matt? No.
Papers in the back.
What were they looking at? Steering final drive piping.
That seems like something relevant to our issue.
Uh-oh.
I was in the back manual.
In this door, we were looking for the battery connection override the first time. There was, I think that might be where that suction strainer lives, potentially. So that's the suction strainer.
There you go.
Well, not the suction strainer, something suctiony.
We're leaking out of all the little details and the
See if the
clues.
The grease mice were hanging out maybe on this department. Nothing looks like it was recently, too much recently apart to me.
You can
though.
definitely take this off without drinking.
I'm definitely concerned about the look of the watery oil. Where in the world could the water be getting into this
That's
thing?
a good question. I'm not sure of that.
Like you got a cab, I wonder where all the water runs off the cab at.
I mean, you got a rain gutter here, go straight down. What is this?
More mouse house, so that is your aspirator for the pre-cleaner. That sucks through the pre-cleaner, that's that pipe over there.
That's interesting.
The older TD15 had that same setup on it.
Always talking about aspiration.
I think that is like, probably the ag guys would know better, but like that's the Turbo 2 style pre-cleaner, like Steigers and stuff ran, I think. But it's just constantly pulling the outer dirt and sending it up and out the exhaust. It's like a Venturi effect. I think if we had this engine in the 25C, for as long as the transmission would take it,
Yeah, that's the key.
We-
There, is as long as it would handle it.
we
I
would
don't
have
think
something.
That's very long. I think you'd be final and transmission deleting very quickly.
We just need to make it direct drive. It'll be the TD25C Special KT Edition. Pull the strainer screen thingamabob out and see what we got.
Moment of truth, big dog. Here, I'll get it.
Oh, wonder if we want something.
You can get hydraulic oil all over the face here. We're gonna get a money shot. Come on.
Ooh.
That's a
That is not great.
that's a bad look. Oh,
There's a lot.
dear Darla.
There's a lot of shredding happening in there. Yeah, that's bad.
Rebuild time.
But how about that milk though?
That's a milkshake right there.
Oh,
buddy. Put that in a glass with a straw. Mmm. Poor Milwaukee.
don't worry. We narrowly missed it.
Pig Matt's here.
Not happy, Bob.
Not happy. So we were just discussing the magnetic element of this filter.
Oh man,
Man, I made a mess.
the whole bottom falls off.
Yeah, me and Sam were having a discussion about magnetic filters here, and Caterpillar has round, big ring filter or ring magnets that go over the whole strainer.
And they don't come apart.
They do not come apart, and they're darn near impossible to clean because the magnets are always holding the stuff to the filter. Whereas these ones, they designed smart enough to come out.
See that? I mean, it kind of looks like a gasket, but I have to think that's a clutch. Because why would there be all this gasket in here?
It seems likely that there is a issue with the transmission.
I mean, that could be like the reverse clutch pack was just
Gonzo.
deleting itself.
If you're going to replace one, you might as well do both.
Well, there's a lot of discs and a lot of doll hairs.
You'll be all right. You're into this one cheap, bud.
The guy down there, he goes, yes, the guy that used to run it, he found a rebuilt transmission for $15,000. And I'm like, we're going to see if we can fix this one.
I bet you can find one cheaper than that. Maybe not rebuild, but
Yeah,
functional.
takeout. I wonder what Jack Clark would have takeout.
Yeah. It's like a very fine sludge on all these magnets for sure.
That's how this whole filter is. I honestly think that cleaning this filter may make it work
Yeah.
today. I'm not saying this is fixing it.
Yeah, it might help it.
It might help it. It's not hurting anything.
Is there any sludge at the bottom of the canister?
It doesn't look, I mean, I was going to wash it out, but it's not hateful.
No, it's not bad.
This gasket did break, which I don't understand. Why is this not an O-ring? You know what? There is an O-ring.
At one time.
Look, it is an O-ring. Somebody put silicone on top of it
Don't mock me, I've done that.
or something, and it broke. Round two. You know, there's no spring underneath this. Is that?
Yeah.
I guess because it won't go on without it being over that center. We have all of the Group 31s. Thought we might be welding. So to start your TD25, you need not 1 or 2 or 4, but 6 Group 31 batteries. And right now she's kind of dead. If you charge it like yesterday, it would continue to keep starting, but now it's not. So Matt wants to see what ones are good. I think they're all not so good. I vote we pull them all out of there and put 2 in that are decent and see what happens. But like, there's so much corrosion over here, we got to do some chiseling just to get the nuts off. And let's go from there. I'm saying we pull them, put 2 new ones in, see what we got.
Well, we got 2 batteries jammed in here. Let's see if 2's enough to spin her over.
I think it will be.
Hit her.
Oh, no problem at all.
Can't argue with that. Well, let's see if this thing's gonna move here. Oh.
coming out.
Yeah, there's some mouse house in that. It sounds like a big truck, not a dozer. It sounds good. Well, I know, but like 8Ts with the C15 don't sound like a truck.
Yeah.
Hey, pick it up more. Driving it like a Peterbilt. That ain't good.
Basically just like it was before, it'll go backwards until it won't. So I don't know what that's about. The pressure gauge is staying right up in the middle of the green still. Up a little. Good. Maybe not. That's too much. Get over left a little more. There you go. You in reverse? So I want to give an update on where we landed. Gino and I went down Friday, picked this thing up, made it back home. A few minor story flaws along the way, a little Love's parking lot front end alignment to keep the tires from completely falling off the Peterbilt. That worked out. Made it home, no problems there otherwise. Yesterday, Matt and Gino both came back to help check this thing out. I think everyone's a little excited to see it in action. There is definitely no reverse. I don't have a female quick coupler to throw a pressure gauge on it yet. I'm going to get one of those this week, but what I can tell, the strainer was all dirty. There's water in the transmission oil. There's a lot of problems going on back there. So clean the strainer, put the strainer back in, still same thing, nothing. I thought maybe temporarily we'd have more transmission pressure, a little less suction restriction. The gauge is staying right there in the green where it wants to be. It seems odd how it'll back up for like a little bit before it quits. As you can see, yesterday we had to shove it back here with the 977 to finish getting it where it's parked right now. But I'm afraid that the reverse clutch pack is gone. I was reading the book last night, and the brakes are spring-applied hydraulic release on this. So there's no adjustment. It doesn't have that crazy whole adjustment sequence the way a TD15 does. So what I want to start with this morning is pick the ripper up, pull it ahead a little bit, and I want to shut it off and just so there's no way there's any hydraulic pressure, and see if I can push it, because it should be sitting there with like the park brake on locked. But if we can push it with the 977, that means the brakes are fried too. And that's a major problem because the transmission's not that hard. The transmission comes off the front, drops out, not that big a deal to rebuild that reverse clutch pack. The steering, the 2-speed steering and the steering brakes, which are the brakes, they're a whole other assembly in the rear case. So if those have to come out, that's a cab comes off, top cover comes out, like it's a major ordeal. And I hate to say it, but I don't know if the brakes are out and the transmission's screwed up and we got all this water in the oil, I don't know that this machine's gonna be worth salvaging. It may be a part out situation at that point. So I hate to say it, but this brake test may or may not be this machine's fate. I bought it knowing that we had issues. I didn't really know how bad it was. I wish I would have caught the brake issues when I looked at it the first time. I mean, I knew it wouldn't like steer well, but you know, I didn't know why. But I'm afraid that the brakes are gone. I wonder if somebody had the service brake locked down and ran it, and both the reverse clutch pack and the service brakes lost the war together. So I want to see if we have brakes. If we don't, I don't know. I mean, it's not like we're out money here. The money I have in this machine sitting here, the KT is still worth it. So if the KT's out and you scrap the rest, you'd be money ahead. So let's see what we got. We'll go from there. It's still potentially fixable. I want to see how available those clutch discs are, but it would be a major project. There's no doubt about it. And the amount of projects between the 977, the D8 we have mounting around here, I don't know. It could be a sold as is situation. Somebody that has these, runs these, may see more value in it than I, or have the time. But I was just hoping it was going to be easier than it is. If it was just drop the transmission, if the brakes are good and it's just drop the transmission, fix the reverse clutch pack, put it back in, that's not a big deal. Like, that's not a major problem to me. So if the brakes are good, I think it's a no-brainer that it's going to get fixed. If the brakes are bad, well, we'll see what happens. So with the machine shut off, we should not be able to push it. The park brake, essentially, both service brakes are spring loaded on. If everything's working properly, the 977 shouldn't be able to touch this machine. It weighs almost double what the 977 weighs. So let's see what happens.
So while I still had this sweet tool from Torqup, I wanted to try to use its tightening feature and actually set a torque, tighten to a torque. These bolts on the trunnion caps get torqued to 1,600 foot-pounds according to the manual. So I'm gonna turn this back on, and this number right here is, I guess, what it goes to. I haven't tried to do this yet, so I think it's just gonna go right up to 1,600 foot-pound to stop. Otherwise, we'll be wearing a socket to the face. All right, here we go. Got that reaction arm right against the trunnion cap. And this thing was very loose, so I'm just gonna let it go. Starting to tighten up now. You can let this thing roll however you want. See it pulling in on the shims. Is it gonna stop? It seems like a lot of torque on there. Okay, that's it. I must have let go just in time. So now that's torqued to 1,600 foot-pound. So to tighten, we'll just tighten this side up to 1,600 as well. And that's all there is to it. Torque these to 1,600 foot-pound. Man, that is awesome. I'm gonna loosen it up. I think it's interesting how it didn't bang the way it did when we loosened it up after sitting for years. So let's torque this back up to 1,600 foot-pound. And there she's torqued. That is so cool. I'm impressed. Getting that sweet KT cleaned up. reverse on the TD25. TD15 should provide the reverse. It's only proper to push one IH with another. Well, unfortunately, that's as far as this project's going to go for the time being. It's turned out that it's going to need a lot more work than I originally thought. I thought we're just going to leave it down here if we have time at a later date and we're really looking for a hard project on a really cool tractor. We'll get her fired up and drug up, but for the time being, I'm going to seal up the exhaust and kind of put her in a long-term storage. If we do end up with a cool truck project we want a KT, well, maybe decisions will be made at that time, but for right now, it doesn't cost us anything to sit here. It doesn't need any grass to eat or anything like that. So unfortunately, that's as far as this road is going to go. Thanks for following along as we got this TD25 drug home, shoved down here after a little diagnostic work. Conclusion that the brakes are shot as well as the reverse clutch discs. That adds a lot of complexity to this project from just being the reverse. The transmission is basically its own separate housing that bolts on the front of the rear housing. You can pull that off, drop it out the bottom. Not a big deal. The parts are pretty inexpensive for that. The brakes, on the other hand, you have to pull the cab, pull the whole top plate off the rear housing, and then the big shaft you pull out that is the high-low for the steering on each side, as well as the brakes. So that whole shaft has to come out. The parts for that are very expensive from what I could find online looking quickly. Not to say it's necessarily not worth it, but the problem is when you factor in the amount of labor it's going to be, the amount of parts, it's really hard to justify because these things are only worth, you know, 30, 35,000. That's where we're going to end up if we go down that road. So for right now, I'm just going to park it. Financially, I don't know that it's really viable to fix this tractor, unfortunately, but it's a good KT Cummins. I think worst case scenario, we'll end up with a future truck project down the road. It was a big machine to get brought home. Big thanks to Gino for his help in hauling it for me, as well as Matt for coming over. The day after we got it home, we did a little troubleshooting, did a little figuring, and unfortunately the news wasn't as good as we hoped it'd be. But anyway, thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.